Gentlemen, thank you for tuning into your community service program hosted by yours truly, Victor Trevino. Got a great show for you tonight, very important, talking about the importance of education, and have a couple of experts that will share with us so that you can pass on that information. And very important, because we all know how education plays a role in the progress of all our lives, not just individually, as a family, as a community. It's a way for us to continue to improve the quality of life. And we need your help. Remember, you are listening and you take notes and you pass that information on that you hear from the experts themselves. But can you imagine, here we are, already March, and they call it March Madness, not because we all go mad in March, but it's something symbolic with basketball and the NCAA. And can you imagine also a big congratulations to Texas Southern University that is going to compete, in this tournament. We salute them, we congratulate them, keep up the great work, and we wish you the best. I think they got their first game, I believe, tomorrow. So congratulations to you there at Texas Southern University. At this time, I got my reporter on the street that's telling me we got some breaking news. So let's go to breaking news at this time. And I know they're getting ready. They're telling me they're getting all the footage ready. You're watching live TV, so bear with us. But they're getting all the technical stuff prepared. But as I was saying, already it's March. We just celebrated St. Patrick's Day yesterday. Very traditional, very historical celebration, not just for the Irish community, but for all of us throughout the world to celebrate St. Paddy's Day. And also it's opening season for many little leagues. You saw a couple of them already here on the show. We're looking forward to others in our community. They're also going to have their opening day where they have their parade, opening season, introduction of many of the players. And you'll see that also on our show as we feature these great baseball leagues in our community. But let's go to breaking news at this time.
And the idea is they're meant to honor people and organizations that demonstrate LULAC values through the promotion of education, civic engagement, cultural relevancy, community advocacy, positive media images, and more. Presenting each award are members of Council 4967. We're going to start off with the first award, and it'll be presented by Celia Gonzalez, a 54-year-long member of LULAC and past National VP of the...
Angie, LULAC is proud to give you this in appreciation for outstanding dedication to LULAC. Thank you.
Center. This lady and her staff are out there at night till 10, 11 o'clock making presentations at high schools for financial aid and scholarship information. And if you don't know who she is, you'll get to know her today, and she can tell you where she's at. And she knows all the colleges and universities and the contacts. So if you have kids that need to get into school, please give them a call. Rosen Blanco. We've known each other for 40 years.
So I would like to present this award for public civic engagement of excellence to Carlos Duarte de Familia Bota. If you could say a few words, Carlos.
For award for corporate corroboration with LULAC, I present to you now in behalf of Texas Fiesta.
So I'll let him speak now. Juan Baby Bull Diaz.
Well, I guess I'll keep the new train going. Juan Diaz, Mexicano. I want to thank everybody, especially the organization of LULAC for being such a great organization for us Hispanics, Latinos, and yours truly a Mexicano here. So I want to thank the organization for everything they do for our young people today. I had a lot of mentors, and I remember Pancho Close when we were in 6th grade came out and did some donations, some bags, some presents and stuff. So I'm very thankful for those little details that actually touch my heart.
Congratulations to LULAC Council 4967 for having their first community banquet there at the Houston Community College, giving recognition to many community individuals that have been very involved. But also, I just want to congratulate LULAC on their 85th anniversary. 85 years and still going strong. So we want to congratulate LULAC for your involvement in the community. Always being the voice, especially promoting education, talking about how important education is to all members of our community. So keep up the good work, LULAC. Happy anniversary on your 85th anniversary, and also to Chapter 4967 for a great community event the other day. My wife and I were very fortunate to be there. We had a great time, so thank you. And breaking news on the Victor Trevino Show is always talking about great people doing great things, and that's what LULAC has been about. Great people doing great things, many sacrifices, a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, a lot of hard work, a lot of legal battles, and showing us the right way to make sure that we make progress in a civil and orderly manner. So LULAC, keep up the good work. But again, our partnership with Crime Stoppers is also very important. So at this time, let's go to our Crime of the Week.
Crime Stoppers and Constable Victor Trevino need your help in identifying 3 suspects responsible for an armed robbery at a Harris County gas station. 3 suspects rushed a gas station located on the 7700 block of Fairbanks in northeast Harris County. The first suspect stood at the door while 2 brandishing handguns approached the service counter and demanded cash. The suspects were last seen fleeing the area on foot. Take a look at this surveillance video. The first suspect is described as a black male wearing a red bandana around his face, a light-colored long-sleeve shirt, and black pants. The second suspect in this video is described as a black male wearing a white cloth around his face, a black hoodie, and black pants. The final suspect in this aggravated robbery is described as a black male wearing a black cloth around his face and a black hoodie and gray pants. If you know the identity of these suspects, contact Crime Stoppers of Houston today at 713-222-TIPS. That's 713-222-8477. You can also download the Crime Stoppers mobile app in the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, and the BlackBerry App World. As always, callers to Crime Stoppers remain completely anonymous and are eligible for a cash reward of up to $5,000.
If you have any information on the Crime of the Week, please call Crime Stoppers. This aggravated robbery happened on January the 21st, 2014, the 7700 block of Fairbanks. It was an area gas station where these suspects walked in brandishing their handguns, ordering everybody to get on the floor. You look at the video, you saw the video. What we need for you to do is any information regarding this aggravated robbery to give Crime Stoppers a call. You can get up to $5,000 reward. It's a win-win situation because when you call, your name is never mentioned. It's a code they give you, and that's the only way that you communicate is through that code. Already, because of your calls to Crime Stoppers, you have made our Crime Stoppers in Houston, Harris County the #1 Crime Stoppers in the world. So we're very grateful to you. We appreciate it. And again, this crime happened January the 21st, 2014, 7700 block of Fairbanks here in Harris County. And it happened in an area gas station there where these two suspects, committed an aggravated robbery there at that location. So give us a call if you have any information. We thank you for that. A while ago, I was mentioning about LULAC and congratulate him. I also want to congratulate Juan Diaz, a local neighborhood youngster that also knows the importance of education. While he became a champion already, a four-time world champion from our Houston area, near Northside, went to Jeff Davis High School. But while he was boxing, he did not compromise his education. He made sure that he went to college, got his college degree, and has been an individual that has promoted education continuously. He's making a comeback. He already retired once at the age of 27. Yes, he was an old guy retiring at 27, but he's making a comeback as a youngster at the age of 30. And I think we're looking forward to him being a world champion again. So we wish you the best. Juan Diaz, Baby Bull, keep up the good work. And now to my very special guests that are here, I'd like to thank y'all for taking the time to be here. Mr. Christopher Stuck, Dean of Academics of Pope John XXIII High School.
Hey, it's great to see you.
Thank you for being here. Arthur Ortiz, Assistant Vice President of Enrollment Management for the University of St. Thomas.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank both of y'all for being here. And you know, we started the show with LULAC, and we know LULAC's always been about promoting education, that the only way for us, not only as an individual, as a family, as a community, as a country, to succeed is through education. And both of y'all are in that field, and I congratulate you. Arthur, just let's go, tell us a little bit about your background. What made you want to get into this field? Where are you from? And
Sure. Well, I'm originally from the Houston area. I went to school south of the city at Alvin High School, so I grew up in that area. I'm the youngest of 9. So as an example, my brothers and sisters, all went to college. My parents were first generation. They never finished high school, so they stressed very much the importance of getting an education. So that's kind of the path that I went along. After college, I started working for an oil company, and it wasn't a good fit for me, and position opened up at the University of St. Thomas. It looked like a good fit for me, and I didn't intend to go into higher education, but now that I'm there, I love it, and it's become my career for 15 years now.
wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
And of course, the University of St. Thomas, we're talking before the show, how it has grown a lot, and later on I want to come back so you can
Sure.
expand on that.
Thank you.
Okay. And Christopher, Dean of Academics of Pope John XXIII High School, give us a little background about yourself.
Sure. So I went to high school in Massachusetts, got to Texas to go to the University of St. Thomas. I was hired to work in the admissions office right after college. In fact, I like to tell my students I've been working with their age group since I was in their age group. I worked in admissions for 5 years before I got my dream job, which was college guidance counselor at Pope John XXIII High School. I did that job for 5 years before I was promoted to Dean of Academics.
Wow, congratulations. But and you told us a little bit, Arthur, but what made you want to get into academics and promote that aspect of it?
For me, it's working with students. It's working with students to find the right fit for them. As part of my job in admissions, I went to a lot of schools that didn't have a lot of resources. I saw a need for more guidance in the field of college selection. And so the opportunity for me to kind of get my boots on the ground and work with students hands-on, one-on-one, was something that I couldn't resist.
And we were talking earlier, Arthur, about St. Thomas University and the fact that it's expanded, its role in the community. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. First of all, the University of St. Thomas is recognized as a Hispanic serving institution. So we have been recognized for a number of the programs, the diversity of our student population. So though we're a private school, most of our students come from the greater Houston area, and many of them come from inside Loop 610. So for us, that's a very important aspect of serving the community of Houston is one of our roles. We've expanded. We continually look at what the needs are in the community as far as adding different academic programs over the years. And what's really, I think, kind of created more of that atmosphere of a wonderful college community is the addition of our athletic programs, which we started about 6 years ago. So currently we have a men's and women's basketball, women's volleyball, men's and women's soccer, men's and women's golf, and we're close to adding a men's and women's cross-country team. So we continue to add a couple of sports every couple of years.
And baseball, I'm sure, is on its way.
We're hoping to get baseball on its way.
Especially
We
with
do have
St. Thomas High School.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that athletics is also very important.
Absolutely.
To helping a university grow. So congratulations with that part of it. And you were saying also about something about community-based, or explain that to us.
Sure. It's really important that, you know, most students around the country, when they go to a college or university, the vast majority do not go outside of their own city, you know, or they're within 200 miles at least. So we recognize that Houston has a substantially large population. We basically spend most of our time recruiting in the college or in the high schools around the greater Houston area. And as part of that, you know, Houston's a very diverse city. You have families, students coming from families of various income levels, I guess I should say. So we do it's very important to us to make sure that we provide a great amount of financial assistance and academic scholarships to help our families be able to afford for them to come to the university. Of our incoming freshman class last year, it was 43% of them came from a family income of $60,000 or less, and actually 20% came from a family income of $32,000 or less. And it's because of that commitment to the community. That's somewhat rare for a private school to be able to bring in students with that type of socioeconomic background.
And later on we'll talk more, you know, in terms of the financial assistance and also the importance of that for people to know. For you at home, again, you know, I know some of you will look at me and say, well, Victor, I'm not going to college. This doesn't apply to me. I said, but the importance is for you to be informed. It doesn't matter, you know, your intentions. All of us being informed so we can pass these conversations on to your family, your loved ones, your neighbors. Just sitting at the table, having a conversation, talking about the importance of education, what's available within our community is very important. You're going to be the most important aspect of passing this information on, because it starts on your level. You know, we'll do our part to get that information to you, because we'll give you information that's important about financial assistance, what people have to do to, you know, start the process. And you'll hear more from the experts in just a second. But Christopher, your role, you know, at, you know, Pope John the 23rd High School. Tell us a little bit about the high school itself.
Okay, so we've only been around for 10 years. So we're the second newest Catholic high school in the Archdiocese of Galveston, Houston. We started out small, and when I first got there, we only had about 200 students. Now we have 400 students, and we're growing every year. It's a great atmosphere. It's a family atmosphere. We have top-notch academics. We add advanced placement classes every year so that our students can strive for excellence in the classroom, while also serving those students who might academically need a more college prep level course.
And your level, though, in terms of you know, being Dean of Academics and your involvement before, what would you say to students? You know, let's say, at what level should students be thinking about, what do I need to do to go to college?
Well, I think that high schools in general need to promote a college-bound atmosphere, that the culture should breed, we're going to college. And that should be pervasive throughout the hallways and the classrooms and conversations with counselors and principals and staff. I think students towards the end of their sophomore year, because a lot of students take the PSATs, need to start thinking about, you know, what does the future hold for me? And so in junior year, I recommend students take the SAT around December, you know, or ACT test. And those are aptitude tests that kind of gauge readiness for the first year of college. And then senior year is really when the rubber hits the road, where students need to be researching what schools they want to go to, visiting campuses, meeting with officials like Arthur one-on-one to find that best fit university, the college that gives them that feeling inside that that's where they belong.
And I know that sometimes, and this, both of y'all to think about it, and we're going to take a break, but to think about the fact that sometimes what's promoted a lot is those students that get scholarships, and you see that a lot, but yet, as mentioned before, the majority of the students have to get financial assistance,
right?
Student loans, student grants, and I want us to talk more about that when we come back.
Sure.
And for you to stay informed about that, how important it is, what the difference is between a student loan and a grant, a scholarship. So I want you to stay tuned. But at this time, we got a special video that we also want to recognize in the field of education, this young lady.
This month, we take you to Jackson Middle School as HISD recognizes Ana Beltran as the district's Employee of the Month for February 2014.
I love being around the students. I myself am a Jackson Middle School alumni. I was here at Jackson in, I think, 1985 through 87. So this is my home. And I'm here to help and I'm here to guide them. So that's one of the main things that drives me to come to work every day.
Ana started at Jackson in 1995 as a discipline clerk and is now the school's finance clerk.
I am very honored to be able to bestow this honor on Ana. I know the kind of person she is, that whether she received this award or not, she was still going to be the hardworking, dedicated person that she is.
My nomination has been an honor. Teachers and staff have greeted me graciously and congratulated me on this recognition, and I'm very pleased and happy to be the Jackson Middle School Employee of the Month for HISD for the month of February.
We want to congratulate, Ana Beltran from Jackson Middle School for being the Employee of the Month, as a financial assistant individual there that's been working there at Jackson for quite some time. And I just want to, again, congratulate all the schools that take the time to congratulate their employees and talk about the great employees they have. I know that education, while it's a priority, sometimes what we see on the news is very challenging, either because you're talking about school closing, you're talking about some questionable incidents that happen. But, I also want us to recognize that there's so many great teachers, employees, clerks, the support staff that's out there in making our educational system, as top-notch as possible. Those employees are out there, and we too here at the Victor Trevino Show want to recognize them, not because we don't understand that we have to address those challenges. We will address the challenges, but I think there is a way to address those challenges in a manner that still keeps the importance of education on the top level, and not so much where one incident occurs and we want to brand everyone there as having a problem. So Miss Ana Beltran, congratulations. Keep up the good work. And of course, Jackson Middle School is, for me, very important. That's where I went to middle school here at East End. So I'm very proud to be a Jackson former student. Back to our special guests that are here. Let me introduce them to you again. Mr. Arthur Ortiz, Assistant Vice President of Enrollment Management for the University of St. Thomas. Thank you, Arthur.
Great to be here.
And Christopher Stuck, Dean of Academics of Pope John XXIII High School. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
And 10 years old, it's still new, but yeah, you've come a long ways. You've doubled already in the enrollment.
That's right.
That's great.
That's
Congratulations. Right. And we were talking about financial assistance, so either one of y'all can jump in and start off with that.
Well, I think, financial aid is very important. I think there's a lot of students, especially in the city of Houston, who are going to be dependent on aid, and that takes a lot of different shapes and sizes, whether that's scholarship, grant money, loan money. I think it's important for people to know that there's a form out there, the free application for federal student aid. Used to be one of the things I used to do to give back to the community, is go out to different schools and educate families about how that form works and why they shouldn't be afraid of that form. It only takes about 30 minutes to fill out. And a lot of the times you hear families say, well, I'm not going to get anything, so why bother, right? Or, you know, I don't want to have to divulge my financial information to anybody. And I understand that. However, it's a federal form. Your information's protected. But a lot of the times I do hear students say, I'm not going to get anything, so why should I fill this out? So there's an anecdote that I like to tell, and that was back when I was working in admissions. I worked with the Corpus Christi area, and a foundation opened up a pool of money for all students who lived in the Corpus Christi area. The only criteria you needed to have was to live in that Corpus Christi area. It was not need-based, okay? It was not, you know, attached to your grades. It was simply based on where you lived. However, you needed to have the FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, on file in order to be awarded that money. So I tell all of my students, fill out the form. Take the 30 minutes it takes to fill it out, because you never know what kind of money is out there, and there could be money sitting out there waiting for you that you would not have known about otherwise.
I couldn't agree more. And, you know, students and families should not feel intimidated, because there are representatives of colleges and universities that will help them fill out the form. They'll schedule an appointment, they'll sit down with you and help you go through the process. Also, a number of, you know, high school guidance counselors will assist as well. I think financial aid is extremely important, because one of the things that I often hear from families or students is, you know, I didn't do well in school, so I'm not going to college, or, you know, my family cannot afford. But there's many options out there for someone who wants to further their education, for them to do so. Community colleges are a tremendous option. You know, they're very affordable. So I want students and parents and families to think that college is an option. It is not just for other people. It's not for everyone else but me. And, you know, despite, you know, some of the media reports about, you know, is college worth it or this and that, really the true studies that show someone's earning power over the course of time. Sure, someone might be able to get a fairly high-paying job early on, but you'll have an opportunity to advance, to change fields much more readily with a college degree, and you don't have to spend a fortune to get one. So my plea is, you know, you have to think first, is college a goal that I have? And if it is, there's many ways to accomplish this, and you don't have to spend a lot of money, and you can receive assistance academically, tutoring, to help you, you know, improve your situation.
Well, most definitely, though, for you at home to know that college is so important that many job applications require that. And there's incentives also, even if it's not required. For example, in the police departments, you get paid extra for a college, an associate's degree or a bachelor's, all the way to a PhD. These are incentives that officers qualify. So I'm imagining that that is also the same in the corporate world, where you're required to have a college degree, and it helps you. So I think that to be competitive, I really feel that every student graduate from high school needs to seriously consider that. And I agree with you all that, you know, but being informed is also very important. You need to have these applications ready, the federal assistance, the FAFSA. You need to have all that already filled, so that when these scholarships come up, if it's a scholarship. Now, should we go to a video at this time? No, not yet? Okay, in a little bit, but let's talk about what's the difference in a student loan and a grant.
Sure. Student and families will know their eligibility by filling out the FAFSA form that Mr. Stuck mentioned earlier. And when they do the assessment, there's a formula that they use. It will determine, and it'll kind of have itemized, just like any kind of invoice or receipt or anything that you'll see, and you'll see each school will tell you what academic scholarship money you receive. It will indicate any type of loans you're eligible for. Now, keep in mind, you might see some large numbers on the loans. That's what a student's eligible for. A student doesn't have to take all of that loan money. So sometimes we have to remind parents that just because it says you're eligible for $15,000 in loans doesn't mean that you can take $2,000 out or you cannot. You can take any amount, up over, I think the minimum is maybe $1,500 or so. And then there's grants. Grants are just as good as scholarships because grant money is money that's provided that the student or family does not have to pay back. So I consider them just like scholarships. And there's lots of grant money available. Another secret that I'll mention real quickly is that every college and university has what it refers to as a discount rate. So whatever the price tag of a university is, a student does not pay that amount of money in general. Most colleges and universities have a discount rate of around 42%, which means they will subsidize about 42% of your education with financial aid. So just kind of keep that in mind as well.
So how would one know that?
Definitely by completing the FAFSA. And then all the schools and colleges and universities that a student is interested in looking at, it's very important to establish contact with their admissions office. That's what they're there for. That's what professionals like Mr. Stuck and those who work there, we're committed to that. We enjoy talking to students and parents because we feel good when we're able to assist them to make their next choice in life, which is to get an education.
Great information for you to know, ladies and gentlemen. And we do have some special birthday videos, so we're ready for them. Okay.
Una, dos, tres. Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David. Hoy por ser su cumpleaños te las cantamos aquí. Despierta, mi bien, despierta. Mira que ya amaneció. Ya los
Thank you. Gracias por venir a felicitarnos. Les agradecemos mucho que estén presentes. Gracias.
Estoy muy contenta por haber cumplido ahora años y les doy gracias por haber venido a visitarnos. Y le mando un saludo al señor Trevino. Gracias. Estoy muy feliz.
Gracias por este grato momento que nos hacen pasar bien bonito a ustedes. Dios se los bendiga a ustedes todos. Gracias.
Yo me siento muy contenta con todos mis amigos aquí. Y le doy las gracias a la señora Rodríguez por esta atención con nosotros. Gracias.
Yo le doy gracias a Dios porque Dios me concedió a tener esos 80 años y soy muy feliz y tengo a mis 3 hijos y soy muy feliz y que Dios me bendiga mi casa y yo. Gracias.
Bueno, pues buenos días y me siento contenta de estar compartiendo aquí con todos los compañeros, compañeras, celebrando el cumpleaños de febrero. Y me siento agradecida con Dios, 68 años que Él me ha dado, muy bendecida. Gracias.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to everybody. Happy birthday to you.
Congratulations to all those youngsters at the Wesley Community Center, right there in the near north side. Want to congratulate on your birthdays, and I'm sorry I missed you. I look forward to visiting you the next time. But again, the idea of recognizing how important birthdays are is because, it gives us the opportunity for us to reflect and celebrate the beautiful memories that we've made in the past. But it's also the opportunity for us to plan the beautiful memories we're about to make. So there at the Wesley Community Center, congratulations. Keep up the good work. And of course, as I've mentioned to you before, Wesley is also very special to me because that's where I started one of the first concepts in community policing when I was a Houston police officer and had an office there at the Wesley Community Center back in the late 70s. And it was a great opportunity for me to really feel the blessing of a great community there at Northside. So congratulations, keep up the good work. And again, ladies and gentlemen, to my very special guests that are here, let me introduce them again. On my right, Arthur Ortiz, Assistant Vice President of Enrollment Management for the University of St. Thomas. Thank you, Arthur, for being here.
You're welcome.
And Christopher Stuck, Dean of Academics of Pope John XXIII High School. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And we've been talking about the grants and student loans, scholarships, but you were also mentioning something else very important a while ago about visiting some of the colleges. Let's talk about that.
That's right. I think probably the most important thing to do as part of the college selection process is to actually visit the campus, get your feet on the ground and meet people, whether that's here in Houston, College Station, or South Bend, Indiana. Get to that college campus and see what it's like, because you may not like it once you get there. I tell my students that when you do go visit those campuses, dress professionally. And I think Arthur can attest to the fact that it doesn't leave us with a good impression when you show up in your shorts and your tank top. I advise students to dress up like we're dressed up, like it's a job interview. Shake hands with the admissions counselor, make eye contact, ask lots of questions, okay? I think it's important that you write down the questions that you'd like answered, because sometimes when you get there, you might have some stage fright, okay? Because it can be kind of intimidating as a high school student to all of a sudden be sitting down with somebody who's now interviewing you for a spot at that college or university. Also, make sure that you ask straightforward questions, such as, what are my chances of getting in? I think it's important that students know their stats, and by stats I mean their GPA, their class rank, their SAT or ACT scores, and be very honest with the admissions folks. Say, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm just wondering, what are my chances realistically of getting into your college? And then, of course, always take the tour and then meet with students. Have a chance to meet with students, have lunch with students, or walk around with students without the admissions counselor around, because, of course, it's the admissions counselor's job to sell that school, but the students are going to give you the real information about that campus.
And I think, again, for you at home, to make sure if you talk to your loved one, your family, to talk about if in their school, because now I have seen where elementary, middle, and high schools, they have college programs where they introduce the different colleges. They'll have some kind of conference, and they'll have different colleges represented there. So at that early level in elementary, it's important to already have the students become aware of what kind of college, what kind of university, what kind of continuous education they want to pursue, as you heard Christopher talking about, not just there in the school, but then going beyond that and visiting that location. Arthur, you want to add to that?
Sure. And one of the things when we talk about visiting a school is the pre-visit. As Mr. Stuck said, dressing in a certain way, but I want to even go back a little bit further. And when a student starts to look at colleges, universities, he or she needs to do what we call an honest self-assessment. And that's part of knowing their stats and everything else. But to really understand who they are as an individual and what they're looking for. And we're always searching our whole lives, so we'll never know exactly everything about ourselves. But for example, are you the type of student that performs better in a classroom if it's a smaller school? Or if larger classrooms are not a problem for you, then that might lead you to think, okay, I'm going to visit smaller schools or larger schools. There are so many colleges and universities in the greater Houston area, in the state of Texas, and of course all over the country. There are many schools that students and parents may have never heard of that can be the right choice or the right fit for them as an individual. That's why it's very important not to necessarily choose your college based on my brother went here, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, I root for this team on college football or whatever, that you really need to select a college or university that's going to provide for you the education that gives you the advantages that you want in your career. So you need to really do an honest self-assessment about that. I mean, if you know that you have trouble concentrating or that you ask a lot of questions, then you need to be honest and say, do I want to attend a school where I might have a classroom of 400 students, or is it better for me to go to a school where I might have 20 students in a classroom?
And I think something else I want the general public to know, and you got to help me with this, because sometimes within the family, for whatever reasons, what we want to say to our loved one is, college is not for you. You need to go get a job. You need to go to work, okay? You know, you didn't do good in high school, you're not going to do good. And I'm just being upfront with you. You know, we need to be more, I think more, not practical, but I think more calculated. Let's be more, I think also sensitive to the fact that maybe some of our loved ones, you know, it's more challenging for them. But I think that all youngsters, even if at high school is challenging, there's room for them in continuous education. We just have to promote that. We just have to give them, you know, the motivation, the inspiration. So I just ask you to please, let's be a little bit more understanding. Yeah, I know that you may say to me, well, you got to be realistic, Victor. Also, college is not for everyone. I believe that colleges and universities now have adapted to where they look at the student when you go out there and visit the college, whether it's a small one, a large one, whether it's a religious institution or a more private institution, public, the student is going to see what's good for them. I just think that those of us within the family, within the community, we've got to promote that all children, all students can go to college, you know, and it is realistic, but we just have to promote that and not tell our youngsters that, you know, they're just not fit to go to college. It's not made for us. Maybe that was something, you know, back in the 20s and the 50s, maybe even the 60s. But I believe in this day and time, all our students, you know, have a college or university waiting for them out there. And you see the two experts that are here telling you from their perspective, you know, their experience also. We'll come back to them in just a second. Can we go to that, is it a picture or a video? Oh, it's a picture. I want to say, do a shout out to Lindsay and Albert Chapa, their daughters Mia and their baby Lena. Their baby, I think, was just born, I hope I get this right, a couple of weeks ago. I don't know, we have I think the date might be on here. But Lindsay is Judge Vada's daughter. I took office in 1989, and since then, Lindsay and her sister would always come visit there. And so I've known them since they were 5 and 6 years old. And now you see them as young moms, you know, having a family. And I know that Judge Vada is a proud grandpa. So congratulations to the Chapa family, but also to the Vada family. Congratulations on your new addition, both daughters, Mia and baby Lena. Congratulations. And again, we're back with our special guest. We're talking about the importance of education. Both our special guests have their own background. You heard from Arthur Ortiz from the Houston area in Alvin, from a family of 9, but their parents promoted the importance of education. And all your family, you said, went to college?
Yes, various degrees. Some have earned graduate degrees, masters. Others have done associate's degrees, and everywhere in between. So yes.
Well, congratulations. And we just want you at home to also just be informed. We talked about the different levels of whether it's a grant, financial assistance, scholarships. But the main thing is just to stay informed, ladies and gentlemen. Talk about we're right now during spring break. So from XXIII, last week was other school districts. Most colleges already had their spring break. But I thought it would be a great opportunity while there is spring break in XXIII to talk about the importance of education, continuous education. And Christopher, again, from your perspective and what y'all have done at Pope John's 23rd High School in 10 years, what do you see at the same school for the next 10 years?
I see continued growth. I see continued excellence. I see us becoming a school that is accepting of students from all walks of life, students who are going to be dependent on financial aid, students who are not going to be dependent on financial aid. And hopefully, I'd like to see students who have the willingness to explore colleges, not just here in the Houston area or in College Station, but around the entire country.
Well, keep up the good work there.
Thank you.
And also University of St. Thomas. I mean, I know one of my staff members that just came on, Angela Gutierrez, graduated from there, went to criminal justice high school, and then went to University of St. Thomas, and she's very proud of that, and we are too. So, I mean, the University of St. Thomas has also grown, as we talked about earlier, but, you know, what would make a student say, let me consider the University of St. Thomas?
I think it sounds very simplistic, but it goes back to what Mr. Stuck said. I think for almost any school, what makes a student really realize that the school is for them is when they come and visit. Because every school can look good on the website. Every school can look good in the brochure. You're always going to see that. But when you actually walk onto a college campus, the stat is basically, you know, the majority, 80, 90% of students, within 10 minutes, they know whether they want to continue to consider this school as a serious option or not. There's something that goes into it to where, yes, it's an academic education, the major. Usually you know that they have the academic area of interest that you're looking for before you visit. That's why you're looking at them. But there's a lot of aspects that go into being a college student. Academics, the culture, the life, all of that goes into it. And when you see the activity or the culture of a campus, something in your gut just says, okay, this is a place that I feel like I will be successful. It's going to help me achieve my goals, and I will feel very comfortable and happy here.
And I guess maybe let me just be blunt with you. Even though it's a Catholic-oriented university, can someone be non-Catholic?
That's a great question. Yes, and this goes for 95% of all religious institutions. Our population is about 65% Catholic, which means almost 40% are non-Catholics. We have a student body that comes from 60 different countries. When you have multiple countries represented, they have faith backgrounds that extend from, you know, Buddhist to Muslim to Christians to Catholic Christians to atheists or agnostics. So the idea is a respect for the individual as a human being, regardless of their faith or creed. So that's one of the things we value, is that we have many of our students who are not Catholic that, you know, it's what we're going to see in the work environment, right? We work with folks through our whole life. We meet folks in our daily lives that have various religious and, you know, different backgrounds, academic backgrounds. So we don't just have Catholic students. In fact, a large percentage of our students are not Catholic, and they feel very comfortable there.
And I just wanted you at home to know that also, that while some universities have a certain religion background or a connotation, but yet it's open to all students, you know, meeting the criteria, the qualifications. But also University of St. Thomas is very close, central location.
Sure, we're located right in the museum district, you know, within 5 minutes walking distance from the museums in Houston, not far from Herman Park, the medical center. We're basically located in between West Alabama and Richmond Avenue along Montrose. We're kind of hidden. We're in a residential neighborhood. It's a very beautiful, quaint campus. You know, we invite anyone to come visit anytime. Our tour times are on our website, or just come by and look. We host a lot of festivals too. We are the host for the Houston Italian Festival. So next year, if you want to come out and get some good Italian food, then it's always hosted on our campus.
All right, all right, good work. And also, Christopher, you know, the same question I think of Pope John 23rd High School. While it's a Catholic-oriented school, can someone non-Catholic attend there?
Oh, absolutely. We have students of several different faiths who attend Pope John the 23rd, and they love it, you know, and they're successful, and they go on to great colleges and universities and have great relationships with their instructors.
All right. And that's for you at home to know the fact that while some high schools or universities have a certain religious background, but yet it's open to all communities, all individuals, all walks of life. And we've been talking about the importance of education and promoting it. And of course, you know, ladies and gentlemen, it does start way before elementary, way before kindergarten. I mean, you really need to start at a way preschool level. There was many studies that have been done, a story that came out this weekend in a local newspaper talking about the importance of reading, you know, reading to the little one. That if you started that, it showed where families that read to students, their vocabulary increases considerable by the time they get to kindergarten. Whereas the other students that unfortunately have not been read enough to, you know, their vocabulary is way lower, at a lower level. So I think it's important for us to just be informed, and maybe, you know, you say, well, Victor, I can't read to them. Figure out how, whether it's even, you know, a tape, a CD, something that the student can listen to, besides just the video. The reading part is real important at that age level for the youngsters to develop their vocabulary, their sentence structure. So it starts at that level. So by the time they get to the 9th grade, I'm not sure, but maybe y'all can help me out. Elementary, it seems like the parents are always there. They go every time. Once they leave elementary and they go to middle school, it starts kind of fading away.
I think that's a good point.
Is there any, I mean, I don't mean to put you on the spot,
Sure.
but just as a conversation.
With my cohort, it's a mixed bag. You know, you've got some parents who are very highly involved, right? And then you have some parents who drop them off in the morning and then pick them up in the afternoon, and that's about all their involvement. So I think Catholic education lends itself to having maybe more involvement with parents. But I would say that 9 through 12, it's kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, and I would say with my experience, since we tend to have the students walking on into our office to visit the school that have identified that they want to go to college and their families have, that we tend to get the families where the parents are probably a little bit more active. And that may speak to your point about reading to them at a young age and continuing to be active in the student's life. Even if it's just being there and being supportive, you don't have to be an expert in this or that, but just being supportive of the education that your son or daughter receives goes a long way. And we've had many parents that come along and they want to come on the tour. And their students, their sons and daughters are very proud to have them there. They may not ask any questions. Many will not speak English, you know, and that's fine, but they're just there. And I think that's the most important thing.
Their presence is also very important. It sends a strong message.
Correct.
Okay, so we still got some time to have more conversation with you at home. And we talked about the importance of knowing about the student loan, the grants, knowing the difference. Whereas a student loan, you have to pay back. You will be responsible for that. The student grant is similar to a scholarship, but you have to apply. Is it the FAFSA?
The FAFSA.
Tell me what it stands for.
The Free Application for Federal Student Aid.
And when do you suggest that a student apply for that?
February is FAFSA
Of their
Awareness
senior year.
Month. That's right.
Okay. So they can't apply before that?
Correct. It has to be your senior year. But I do want to add one thing real quickly, which is extremely important. With the financial aid and the loans, there are options to where a student can defer. They don't have to worry about paying it until after they leave the school, which is hopefully what we mean by graduation. They have a 6-month grace period, and hopefully if they receive a good, solid education, take advantage of that, then they will have a job and will be able to start making some payments on that. So there are options even within the loans and how they're structured.
Okay. Do y'all want to take a call? Yeah. Okay, we'll take a call. You on the air? Go ahead, please.
Oh, yeah. Hi, my name is Deshaun. How are y'all doing?
You're on the air? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my son is discriminated against about getting scholarships for college, and I think people are treating him unfairly because sometimes he eats caterpillars and then butterflies.
Well, there is some scholarship specifically for that. You have to go through the webpage under the government section that's eco-friendly. So you can go to that section and I'm sure you'll get some assistance. But speaking of education, some folks sometimes think they have an education, and they can be more detrimental. But we just have to be patient, ladies and gentlemen, and we have to stay focused and stay positive. The fact that some of our students will run into some challenges, I think it's our role for those individuals that are sincere about helping their loved one to offer them the right direction in terms of becoming informed of all the student loans, the grants, and the main thing, even though we're talking to some experts here from a high school level, from a university level, how early it starts from the early stages of, of before kindergarten. So again, we need your help to promote this. Final comments from our special guest, Arthur Ortiz?
I have a couple of scholarship websites that I would like to recommend to students and families because I know that, financing and education is a very important thing. So you want to do the FAFSA, but it's also important, I believe, a student should be proactive and take advantage of the scholarships that are out there. So when they're a senior in high school, they can even start in junior year approaching this and researching it. But there are two websites that I'd like to provide, and there's many others. One of them is fastweb.com, and that's F-A-S-T, like speedy, fast, web.com. It's a great scholarship website. Another one would be scholarships.com. Basically, a student fills out a quick, form, which is kind of like doing their Facebook profile. It's easier than that. And it will introduce them, it'll ask them some questions, and it'll send them emails of different scholarships available for them to apply to. And I know of students that have applied to 80 plus scholarships when they were in high school and received 10 or 15, and they had their college education paid for before they came in. I'm sure that's a rare situation, but you can get additional scholarship money by not waiting, but taking time to do it yourself.
Good. Well said. Christopher?
I brought some resources with me since the idea is to get information out there to families. And one book I brought is called Get Into College. It's recommended by the Today Show. It's written by students, admissions officers, consultants, and parents. So I think this is a good opportunity. It's by hundreds of heads. It's called Get Into College. The other book I brought was called The 75 Biggest Myths About College Admissions by Dr. Jerry Israel, because I can tell you, as soon as a myth is accepted as fact, it's really hard to dispel, whether on my level, on Mr. Ortiz's level. So this is a great book to purchase as well. And then the final book I brought is for once you're actually accepted into college. This is called The Naked Roommate and 107 Other Issues You Might Run Into in College by Harlan Cohen. And these are the three books I recommend to students the most when they're transitioning from high school to college.
And I don't know about the 75 myths, but I can tell you that one myth, and we talked about earlier, the one that says college is not for my son or daughter. That is a myth. College is for everyone. So we're running out of time, folks, but thank you for inviting us into your home. We'll see you next week.